Concord Food Co-op. Greg's back in the house. Happy Valentine's Day.
Why, thank you. Happy Valentine's to y'all.
Thank you.
So, are you doing anything special at the store today? Free kisses from Greg for every purchase over $100? Or Allison, that wasn't funny. Man, you clawed right onto that one.
Is that what
He's blushing. Laughing at the suggestion. I'm picturing it.
Wow. Well, the bakery has some wonderful treats. There's some nice chocolates, and there's flowers.
There we go.
There's a whole array of things to dash into the co-op for to provide to your special ones.
Yeah, we got to talk on your timing. You jumped on that way too quick. That's all.
I'm in a very giggly mood this morning.
Oh, perfect.
That's okay.
You're fine
You
here.
came to the right place.
Yes, you did.
No, absolutely. So what's shaking? What's going on?
Well, today's topic is a good one because again, it's we've had our New Year's resolutions. Probably most have fallen off. And
are you? Have you fallen off? Or are you still?
I met mine. It was a very short-term one, and I was able to achieve it. So I did well. I did well. I don't set the bar too high so that I.
But that's good.
Yeah.
But did you set another one? You can't stop.
Well, that's why I have
meet
you
one.
on here today to come up with
That's why we're
my
here.
new goals and objectives. Yes. And today's topic is what is it? You've got the title of it there, but it's really about what
ways
do you
to
do
stay active during the winter.
ways to stay active during the
Yes.
winter. So that's really tough. In the
Why
winter,
are you giggling? What? Knock it off.
the
He hasn't
days.
said- Wait a minute. Doorknob. Okay, I just want to see if that would get her giggling.
That worked.
Can't see it on the radio, but I'm totally rolling my eyes.
That's awesome.
I think there's at this time of the year there's so much resistance to exercise. The days are shorter. It's cold. Who wants to get out of bed early? And you get out of work and it's dark.
And then the walk or the run outside is a little bit tougher.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So it is. What strategies are there? I know all the reasons I can't, but but
We got those down.
but what are some? And I think more than anything with me, it's always the psychological barrier. Once I'm there and in motion, but it's that getting me in motion.
But see, I
part.
like your idea. You had a resolution. It was a small one, and you accomplished it. Yay! People raise the bar way too high
Right.
on New Year's Day. They fail, feel miserable, say, "Well, I'm not doing that again." As I like a series of smaller ones. It's like, okay, I did that. Yay! Okay, now I can do another. Like you said, I do another one. Yay! And then you get into a routine as opposed to one and done. It doesn't make sense. So you're ahead of the curve, Greg.
All right.
You're
I
following
think
the SMART goals.
No, I like
smart
that.
goes.
There we
yeah.
go.
Betsy's here. Hi, Betsy.
Good morning.
Betsy Black, passionate proponent and practitioner. Passionate proponent and practitioner.
Hey,
Little alliteration
beep,
there.
beep.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Practically perfect in every
Nice.
way.
Heavy, healthy living through movement, diet, and mindfulness, which I want to talk about because I don't think people understand what that is. She's been a member of the Concord Food Co-op for 34 years. So you an owner? You're one of the owners,
Absolutely.
right?
Oh,
There
yeah.
you go. Loves the food and support for healthy living that the co-op provides. And we got Giggles with us here. Allison Allison Lellos, owner of Karma Kids NH, local teacher, yoga instructor, and health coach. Got a great laugh, too. Provides yoga and meditation services for children, teachers, and caregivers to support big emotions and busy lifestyles. For more information, you can contact Karma Kids at 568-2763, 568-2763, or karmakidsnh@gmail.com.
Nice.
There you go. Mindfulness. I'm mindful that I have something coming up at 4 o'clock today. Is that mindfulness? Okay, see, I don't think people know what it is.
Yeah. Mindfulness is being present in this moment.
I was gonna say it's this moment.
Yes.
It's not about 4 o'clock this afternoon. You'll have that at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Oh, so I got to be, so being in the moment now is mindfulness.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Being aware of the present moment without judgment. And what that without judgment means is not making a big story about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just here we are.
Being in it.
We're in this room. We're chatting. We're warm.
Yeah.
You're not concerned about the future or
Yeah, well, that's
regretful about the past. You're in the present.
Yeah, and it's a practice. That's why it requires effort, because our brains are wild and woolly and are always taking us this afternoon.
I got a
Right,
thing at
right,
4
right,
o'clock
right.
this afternoon, right?
Yeah. Or,
Are we
know,
that busy that we're always looking ahead and I okay, yeah, you guys are here, but it's a blur because I'm thinking
right.
okay.
Yeah.
And
okay.
so we all do that, and we don't talk about that. And so what mindfulness practices do is provide techniques to help us be here so we can focus and really have the best conversation we can have, because I'm not thinking about what I'm going to have for lunch. If I start thinking about that because I love to eat, I'll just note it, and then I have this discipline that says, oh, I'm distracted. Oh, I'm coming back. And that's what mindfulness practices are practicing being hip to your own mind and saying, oh, you know, I'm thinking about something else when I want to be thinking
So
about
what are the
this.
techniques to block that stuff out so
Well,
I
it's
can
not that
appreciate?
you block it. It's that you notice when it happens, because it's going to keep happening. So there's sitting meditation. There's yoga, which has already been mentioned. There's walking meditation. And these practices are very easy. They're very easy to learn. The trick is in doing them.
The implementation.
Yeah, it's
yes.
just like any of the things
That's
we've
like
talked
with
about
most
here.
things in life.
Yeah.
Easy to learn, tough to do.
Yeah. Although I will say, with the gadget revolution we have, it's very easy to get support. You can join one of the apps, and they will say, okay, 5-minute meditation. You press a button, and you've got support right there. There are also classes that the Concord Hospital teaches classes on mindfulness and meditation, as do a number of other
Are
places.
you a gadget person?
I am trying to train my gadgets.
It's a little ironic
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
an app can help you to be mindful
and that's what I
when
was
really
thinking
your
of, yeah.
telephone
Yeah.
makes you crazier and busier than normal.
How about you,
No,
Allison?
you don't need it. You don't need the app, and I'm just saying that's a support.
But
that's
it is a
available.
support that's
Yeah.
available.
I don't use
through
it. I just have
technology.
peace and quiet.
Are you a gadget person?
I am a gadget person to a certain degree. I only know enough to be dangerous. But when it comes to the meditation apps, though, I had such a resistance because it seemed like such a contradiction to
Right.
go to my phone
Right.
to find
Something to
mindfulness.
relax me, yeah.
Right. But, with the phones too, like there are certain settings on there where you can turn certain apps off where you literally can't open them till a certain time. But
Really?
with those, yeah. And with those meditation apps, it's nice though, because sometimes we do have that wild woolly mind that Betsy was talking about, and we need something to guide us through, because otherwise we're not going to do it. So it's better. I resigned to the fact that, okay, if I need to use my phone to get there and it helps me to actually do it instead of just sit in resistance for 5, 10, 15 minutes, then that's what I'm going to do. And it's an easy go-to. It's a positive way I'm using my phone instead of seeing my phone as some sort of ball and chain that I'm using for all the other things
Right,
in my
for
life.
everything,
I'm
yeah,
finding
right.
a positive way to use it as well.
So are you here right now? Or is your mind drifting like, oh my God, I've got people coming in, I got a class going on at 2, blah, blah, blah. I mean, are you like here, or is there this little wrestling match going on?
A little bit of both. My mind is always all over the place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
hence
yeah,
why
yeah.
I do some yoga and meditation, have apps on my phone and all that sort of stuff. But
Ellie, is yoga considered exercise? I mean,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so exercise is, I mean, most people when they consider exercise, it's really about, oh, I've got to lose pounds.
Sit-ups, push-ups.
I think that's the
yeah,
primary,
Right.
but again, to me, it's also about the keeping your body flexible and
right.
tuned.
Well, I had such a resistance initially too, like many years ago, before I really got into yoga, because I was into like the sweat, the sweat pouring, heart
Right.
pumping type of
No pain,
exercise.
no gain.
Right,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I thought that was the only way to do it. But if you're really immersing yourself in your yoga practice, you're getting flexibility out of it, but then you can go into deeper asanas and, elevate your heart rate through yoga. But a lot of people see yoga as just an exercise as well, but it also ties into meditations, like so many different things and benefits all wrapped into one. And so you can turn your yoga practice into what you need it to be. Sometimes it can be very gentle and therapeutic, but some days it can be very, rigorous and, really push your body. But mentally you have to be in the moment.
But I was going to say,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
very mindful because
It
you
is,
got to
it
be
is.
there if you're really doing it right.
Yeah, I've learned some of the best lessons from yoga because it teaches you so much about yourself and where your mind goes
Right.
when you come upon hardship or when you're struggling in a pose, you want to fall out of it, what your go-tos are when you want to quit.
See, I get the sense that everybody over 50 should be taking yoga.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Or
so
under
that's
50.
that's the sense that I get.
Yeah.
And at first it was kind of, but then when you start explaining it about keeping the mind and keeping the joints, it's like, well, yeah, that does make sense
And
as we get
strengthening
older.
your muscles,
Yeah.
And balance, yep.
And also, it helps you realize, my knee doesn't like that. So it teaches you to pay attention to your body and we need body awareness as we age. We also need it when we're young, but to keep us from tipping over. And you can kick butt with yoga, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Whoa, slow down, girl.
Nice. I like that.
Don't get all medieval.
I like
on
that.
me.
I like that.
No, I mean, it's serious. I agree with Allison. It's a variety of. You can really choose how you want to do it, but it's a wonderful.
On that topic,
tool.
Allie and the Concord Food Co-op and the Capital Center for the Arts are trying to bring an afternoon yoga session to the Bank of New Hampshire stage. And
cool.
it's sort of back to, the topic of, where do you get your exercise during the winter? I have a difficult time in the morning. I have a difficult time after work, but lunchtime, noontime is a great time for me. It's great to get out of the office and so we're trying to have for now we're shooting for Tuesdays and Thursdays, and if we can get it all the details worked out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But then it'll be actually the co-op as we're working on it. The co-op is underwriting it, so it would be a free yoga class to the public.
That's awesome.
Come
On a
down.
weekly basis.
Yeah.
So Allie, Betsy, whatever, whoever, jump in. How long a day do I have to do yoga to get some benefit out of it? Just 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour? What do I need? So I'm not shortchanging myself and just going through the motion going, I did it, but I really didn't get anything.
Well, I'd argue if you even step on your mat or into your space to do yoga, no matter how long you spend on it, with the intention of maybe growing in your practice or focusing on something different every time,
Okay.
there's always a benefit to get out of it. Because even if you're on your mat for 5 minutes, maybe physically you don't get a lot out of it, but mentally if you're there or practicing the art of getting into the present moment like Betsy was talking about, that's also a benefit. So, do you agree, Betsy?
All of the above. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
All right, so for those who don't know, what's the difference between Tai Chi and yoga?
Tai Chi is a Chinese form of movement. It has similarities. It's contemplative.
Okay.
It's slow, and again, the aging thing.
Well,
it's
that
very
seems to
good
be the
for
flavor
balance.
of the week. I see more Tai Chi
I'm
than
doing
yoga.
movement here.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, ads or things on TV, and I'm like, okay, what's the difference?
It's done in a standing position, and it has set sequences of movements. And most people find it, as with yoga, very beneficial to have really good instruction, which we didn't talk about. Same thing with mindfulness.
Right.
I highly recommend real instruction, not just popping on an app.
Some help.
And then yoga comes from India and is a different culture and different movements on the floor, standing, sitting, and it's different in that you hold positions, whereas Tai Chi is more about movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, standing face dog doesn't sound as good. Just doesn't have that ring to it.
No.
A lot of people for their for Christmas they got a treadmill or a Peloton, and they're going to be their New Year's resolution. Do you have any sense of how many people stay with that and continue with it? The use of those, if you ever want to buy one, I think there's a ton of them on Facebook and Marketplace. So
wait until March.
They
You can
always
get a
drop
deal.
2 months
Yeah, I know.
after.
yeah, so
Slightly used.
Yeah.
Or
right.
yard sales.
Yeah.
As
Well,
a coat rack.
Yeah, well, that's the reality. Oh, look at this. Look at this. I can put at least 5 pairs of clothes
It's
on
only
that.
got 6 miles on
Yeah,
it.
I know.
Well, for many people, I think it works because it's in their home and they can they don't even have to leave the house in the morning. They just get up at 4:30. They're
Makes
looking
sense,
at the
yeah.
news
But you have to be awful self-motivated to pull that off.
Yeah,
and I think I like the idea of a class because there's accountability, and if you're accountable to someone else, I think that'll push you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, that's figuring out like who you are when it comes down to staying active in the winter, which is, kind of bringing it back to the topic today. Like regardless, like if you're working out in your home, if you're going somewhere else, you need to set yourself up to be successful. So figuring out the best way, like the way you're going to stay motivated to exercise, but also setting yourself up for success. So like Greg mentioned, like, okay, getting up at 4:30 and going on your treadmill. And in my mind, I'm like, that sounds awful.
See, what is good about
I
that?
got
Yeah, right.
zero motivation.
I'm not doing it. I've just got some people do it.
So saying, okay, like I'm going to set my clothes out the night before. So when I wake up, I see them right there. I'm going to set like 3 timers. So I have like a nice little reminder of progression. Like at this point in time, I should be moving. I should have my eyes open, and just kind of easing into it. But if we don't set ourselves up to be successful by creating structure, boundaries, planning ahead, then
That will
we're
work.
not going
That
to
will
be
work.
that
Yeah.
will that will work. And going
Yeah.
back to small, sustainable goals instead of long-term
yeah,
goals,
yeah.
like focusing on SMART goals, SMART,
So-
to be successful.
So I completely agree. And also knowing what motivates you. So are you the kind of person that loves the camaraderie of a class, or you're the kind of person that alone 4:30 in the morning on the treadmill is nirvana because nobody's bugging you?
Right.
And last Saturday night, a friend of mine has an annual bonfire where you trek half a mile through the frozen woods.
That I can go to.
And
Yep.
stand by a fire. And so if you like parties, have a party outside that
Yep.
has a bonfire. So you get some exercise, you have the camaraderie. We had, there were scallops wrapped in bacon on order. And that's a really memorable. So you want to create cellular memories of it's fun to be outside. And that's why, like, when you go over to White's Park, people are having a blast
Right.
sliding down that hill. It used to be much better when you could slide from farther up, or skating on the pond. So you are creating memories. And so we make decisions from our gut and from our heart. And so the more successful you are, or if you want to go on a long walk by yourself or do one of these crazy, like, run the Iditarod,
Yeah, no.
whatever, wherever you are.
No, see, I like being outdoors.
Build to that.
Up in the hills, just walking in the woods.
Yeah.
That to me is nirvana. Hoofing up to the top, and there's the view. It's like, okay, great, nice walk through the woods. Maybe, not huge, mile and a half. Okay, cool. But it's a nice walk through, and just you're out. You sleep better. You're less stressed. It's all good. And I love the fact you can take a word that is one syllable, make it two. A ballast.
Oh, there we go.
Blast to made it two syllables. That's a skill set. That's
There
very
we go.
good. We have to
Hey,
take
I'm
a
in
break.
Toastmasters.
Yeah, there we go. There.
We'll take a break. Back with more right after this.
Pom, 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 pom.
I'm sorry, we were talking.
No, we were exercising. We were being mindful. See? All
you're
of that
such a
right on
suck
top.
up.
I'm on
Okay,
on
fine.
topic. That's all.
Man, Greg's on his Peloton. You're being mindful. This is great. Yeah. Wow. Round it up. Cash register, what's going on?
Yeah, that's going great. This month it's the Crisis Center of Central New Hampshire, and the Roundup program at the beginning of the month, we were at 37,000 raised since last April.
That's unbelievable.
So that's been, and next week is, next month is Concord High School robotics team.
Did
That's
you have,
right, that
did
we
you
had
have
in. They
any
were great.
idea when you came up with the program, realistically, what you were going to be getting every month?
I didn't think it'd be 5,000 to 6,000, which that's what the program is generally averaging now, and so that's quite phenomenal. And I think what is really helping is individuals say, "My goodness, it can amount to $5,000 to $6,000. Take my 30 cents."
Yeah.
I think if it was a couple $100, they go, I'll pass. It's not really doing anything. But every week several nonprofits call and say, how do I get into this? There was a gentleman just yesterday from Boys and Girls Club. They didn't make it, and he listens to your show all the time. He said, "Greg, I'm hearing you talk about it all the time. How do we get in?"
So what are you booking, like 18 months out now?
No, we're going to have the voting process.
You're going to have to do
again.
the
Okay.
voting thing again.
Yeah,
All
all
right.
Yes, the customers will vote as to.
Was that in August?
August,
August, right.
They're the ones. It's their money, and I think it's only fair that the shoppers, who are the individuals rounding up, decide where their money should go. So it's the popular vote.
And that's why Concord Robotics is on next month, because they had people show up.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It was great.
Allison, which would you rather work with, a 6-year-old or a 56-year-old, in terms of health and doing yoga?
Oh, both. Because both can offer so much to the process. Just for me, like, I'm always looking to how I can learn from other people. So if I were a 6-year-old, like with a 6-year-old, that's awesome. They can
Yeah.
teach you a lot about being creative and moving their body. They can even teach you a few things about making yoga interesting. Like when they're younger, you turn it into fun. Like you don't use the regular yoga names for everything. You use animal names and make it exciting and add movement.
Oh, I like that.
But also you're teaching them vital skills to utilize in the classroom or at home, to be mindful, to be aware of their own bodies and how they're feeling. But with a 56-year-old, that's awesome too, because I have something to learn from them as well. Like, they are more in touch with how their body feels, kind of like Betsy was talking about earlier, like paying attention to like, oh, I have a pain here, or this is something that's not working. How can I adjust it? And it's leading to continued lifelong health.
Are they more are they open to suggestions at 56? 6-year-old, cool, let's do this. I get that. But is a 56-year-old set in their ways? Like,
Well, I don't want to make a blanket statement. Like,
no, of course you can't.
Some people may be set in their ways, but it's really not about, listening to a yoga instructor and being told what to do. It's having the yoga instructor give you permission to let go and figure things out on your own.
Nice.
Yeah, I get
That's
that.
good instruction.
Yep. No, I get that.
Well, because we're responsible for ourselves, and if we're not buying in, none of this is going to work anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The only person that can do it is yourself.
Yep.
I wanted to pass on. My Valentine had a great idea yesterday. Her friend was in contact with her and said, let's get together. So she said, I'll meet you at the Steeplegate Mall. Let's walk and talk. So, if
Perfect.
I mean, I have meetings all the time. What a great idea. Instead of, sitting at a table for an hour, it's like, let's walk and talk, especially today where it's kind of cold out, But, I mean, even walking and talking on good days outside is great. But on inclement days, head to the Steeplegate Mall and walk and talk.
Were there?
So
I'm sorry. Were there a few people there walking?
I don't go there, but she does.
But it
anyway.
was a great idea.
There are a lot.
I've
Some
heard
people
there
do.
are people.
There are a
walkers.
lot of people,
Okay.
that do go there to walk.
And it brings back that accountability piece and also that social piece that Betsy was referring to earlier. Like, if you're with other people, it holds you accountable, but it can also be a way to catch up. And, you pass the time and you don't even realize you're exercising or moving your body.
Why not?
Yeah. I have 2 words for getting outside, and the words are layers.
Nice.
Like, it's not pleasant to be cold, so just really bundle up, but bundle up in a way that you can start taking stuff off. And the second one is traction. People rightfully, because of the weather changes, it can be very slick. So you can get these nice little things on the bottom of your feet that keep you from falling.
Yes.
And I want to share another story. Every Friday morning at 6:15, I go to the yogurt shop, and there are these 4 women who are having a party because they've just been out running up and down Main Street, and now it's time for coffee.
That's
love it.
awesome.
I love
They've
it.
earned it.
Betsy, Allison,
Absolutely.
Greg, as always, thank you.
If you're in the mood for real food, it's Concord Food Co-op.